Welcome back to the deep dive. I want to start today's conversation with a statement that's, well, it's going to sting a little bit.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Especially considering, what time of year it is.
It's mid-January 2026. I think I know where this is going.
I think you do. So here it is, a direct quote from our source material today. New Year's resolutions are stupid.
Starting right off with a punch to the gut. I like it.
I thought you might appreciate the directness.
It really sets the tone perfectly for what we're getting into.
It does. Let's orient ourselves here. It is mid-January. The holidays are officially in the rearview mirror.
The champagne is long gone.
Long gone. And if we're just looking at the cold, hard statistics, most of the people listening to this they've probably already slipped up on their goals.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And look, if we're being honest, that's probably been us too at some point.
Absolutely. The gym starts getting emptier day by day. The journals stay closed on the nightstand. And that whole new year, new me energy is just rapidly fading.
It fades right back into the same old, same old. It's the annual cycle, isn't it?
It is.
This huge burst of enthusiasm followed by just immediate regression. We see it every single year. It's like clockwork.
It really is. You get this manic energy on January 1st, and by, January 17th, the dopamine has worn off?
And you're just left with the reality of your life again.
Exactly. And that is precisely why we're doing something different today. We are doing a deep dive into a piece of writing by Dan Coe.
Right. It's called How to Fix Your Entire Life in One Day.
And I really have to warn everyone listening right now. This is not a list of productivity hacks. This is not about buying a better planner or downloading a new app.
No. This is much, much heavier. Dan Coe himself describes his writing as harsh, and I would 100% agree. This is a brutal, comprehensive wake-up call.
Brutal is the word.
The whole premise here is that if you want to actually change, not just, pretend to change for 2 weeks so you can post about it.
Right.
You have to restructure your entire psychology. This isn't a simple renovation.
He's basically saying it's a demolition.
That's a perfect way to put it. That is a terrifying thought, but it's probably necessary, isn't it? We're not just repainting the kitchen here.
No, we're tearing the house down to the studs.
And that's the mission for this deep dive. We are going to look unflinchingly at why you, the listener, and us are exactly where we are in life.
We're stripping away the excuses.
All of them. And the most uncomfortable truth we're going to cover, the one that really makes people squirm, is the idea that you are where you are because secretly you want to be there.
Oof. Okay, let's just jump right into that because I think most people's immediate reaction is to scream, no, I hate my job, I hate being out of shape.
Of course. I hate being broke.
But Coe argues that's a lie we tell ourselves.
It's a deception, a very convenient deception we play on ourselves. And to understand why we do that, we have to look at what Coe calls the foundation of failure.
Okay.
And this brings us to a really critical distinction between what he calls first order and second order change.
Right. And I think most of us, we default to second order change, even if we don't know the term. Can you break down that difference?
Absolutely. So when people set their resolutions or they decide to get their act together,
Yeah.
they almost exclusively focus on second order change.
Which is?
That's changing your actions. I will run 3 miles every morning. I will write 500 words a day. I will stop eating sugar.
It's all the external stuff.
It's all about grinding, discipline, behavior modification, all the things we think of when we think of self-improvement.
Which, on the surface, sounds logical. If I want to run a marathon, I have to run. If I want to write a book, I need to type words. It feels like the most direct path.
It is logical, but he argues it's the least important part of the entire equation.
The least important.
Yeah. Coe says second-order change is downstream. It's the symptom, not the cause. First-order change, on the other hand, is changing who you are.
The identity itself.
Yes, it's shifting your identity so that the behavior just follows naturally. And this is where he uses this fantastic metaphor of a rotting foundation.
Right.
You can try to build this beautiful structure of habits on top of it. You can buy the running shoes, you can prep the meals, you can set the alarm for 5 a.m.
You can hype yourself up.
You could be super disciplined for, 2 weeks? But if the foundation, your core identity, hasn't changed,
the whole thing collapses.
it inevitably collapses every single time.
So if I fundamentally see myself as, say, a lazy person who is currently trying to run, eventually that lazy person identity is just going to win out.
It always wins.
Yeah.
Because it is the baseline code of your personal operating system. Identity always wins.
Okay.
And this is where he gives this really vivid comparison between a bodybuilder and a CEO to explain why the idea of grinding is actually a bad sign.
This part really flipped my whole perspective on discipline. I've always seen the grind as this badge of honor, you know?
That's the trap. We fetishize the struggle. We love the idea of it. So picture this. A bodybuilder eating plain chicken and broccoli out of Tupperware, or a CEO working until 9:00 p.m. on a Friday. To an observer, to someone who feels stuck in their own life, that looks like immense, incredible discipline.
Yeah, you look at that and you think, wow, look at how hard they're grinding. I wish I had that kind of willpower. We assume they're forcing themselves to do something they hate.
We do. But Coe says that's not what's happening internally at all. Not even close.
So what is happening?
Well, think about it from their perspective. For that bodybuilder, eating a greasy fast food burger would require the grind.
Oh, that's interesting.
It would feel unnatural to them, probably disgusting, and completely counter to their entire existence.
And for the driven CEO,
Sleeping in until noon would be actual torture. They would hate every single second of it. They aren't forcing themselves to work. They literally cannot see themselves living any other way.
that is such a powerful flip. So if I feel like I'm grinding just to go to the gym, if it feels like this massive battle of willpower every single morning,
That's proof.
that's actually proof that I'm not a healthy person yet. I'm just a lazy person pretending to be healthy for a little while.
Precisely. And that's exactly why it is unsustainable.
Yeah.
You're fighting your own nature. Willpower is a finite resource. Identity is infinite
Willpower runs out.
every time. And Coe brings up the weight loss trap specifically, which I think is something millions of people can relate to. You hear it all the time. People say, I just can't wait to lose this 30 pounds so I can start enjoying life again.
I've definitely heard that. Or I'll do this super strict diet for 3 months just so I can fit into this dress for the wedding.
And the brutal takeaway here is that if you view the healthy lifestyle as a temporary punishment, a price you have to pay to get a reward, you will revert.
100%.
It is guaranteed. If you're thinking, I will suffer through the gym now so I can relax later, you have already failed. You have to adopt the lifestyle that creates the outcome forever.
Forever. That is a heavy word. That's a word that spares people.
It should. It's a huge commitment. But the key concept, and this is actually the liberating part, is that when you truly change your identity, the old habits don't just become bad for you.
What happens to
They
them?
become disgusting to you. You become so aware of what they compound into over time. It's like you don't need willpower to avoid drinking poison. You just don't drink it because you know it's poison.
That makes sense. A truly healthy person doesn't have to resist sitting on the couch for 10 hours.
Yeah, they find the very idea of it repulsive. It's just not who they are.
So we're stuck because we're trying to layer these new shiny actions on top of an old identity that deep down actually likes the old stuff.
We're putting fresh paint on a crumbling wall.
Okay, so let's go deeper into the psychology of why we stay stuck. This brings us to section 2 and a concept that I think is pretty mind-bending. It's called teleology.
Yes, and this comes from Alfred Adler, who was a contemporary of Freud, but had a very, very different view of human psychology.
Right, Freud was all cause and effect. Your past trauma makes you who you are today.
Exactly. But Adlerian psychology proposes teleology, which is the idea that all human behavior is goal-oriented.
All behavior, even sitting on the couch doing absolutely nothing.
Especially sitting on the couch doing nothing.
Okay, you have to explain that, because to me, sitting on the couch feels like the absence of a goal. It feels like I've given up. It feels like a void.
It feels like laziness or a lack of discipline. But Adler and Coe would argue that when you're sitting on the couch scrolling on your phone instead of doing your work, you are actively achieving a goal.
A goal.
Yes, that goal isn't success, obviously. That goal might be burn time before my next responsibility. Or the goal is seek comfort. Or, more likely, avoid the anxiety of the hard work.
Wow.
You are successfully achieving the goal of anxiety reduction, at least in the short term.
So it's not that I failed to work, it's that I succeeded at distracting myself.
Exactly. You are always, always succeeding at your unconscious goal. You are a heat-seeking missile for whatever your internal goal is set to. And this gets even darker when we start talking about self-sabotage. Let's say you want to write a book, but you keep procrastinating.
Your classic example.
You tell yourself, oh, I just lack discipline. I'm just a procrastinator. But the teleological view says, no. Your unconscious goal is to protect yourself from judgment.
Nah.
If you never finish the book, no one can ever tell you it's bad. You are actively and successfully pursuing the goal of safety.
That hits home. It's a defense mechanism that's just disguised as laziness. So laziness is actually a highly effective strategy for staying safe from criticism.
And it applies to the dead-end job reality check, too. Coe is merciless on this point. He says if you stay in a job you hate, you aren't lacking courage.
You're achieving a goal.
You are actively pursuing the goal of predictability. You're pursuing the goal of avoiding looking like a failure to your friends or your parents who think that job is safe.
So you're valuing the paycheck and the lack of risk more than your own potential.
Yes, you are trading your potential for safety, but you lie to yourself and call it being stuck. We pretend we're victims of circumstance, but in reality, we are the architects of our own cage.
We are never truly stuck. We are always moving toward what we value most in that moment.
And if you value safety over growth, you will stay in that cubicle. And this brings us to what a goal even is in this context. A goal isn't just a destination. It acts as a lens of perception.
A lens. What does that mean in practice?
It means your goal determines what information your brain even allows you to see. It filters your reality. Think about when you decide you want to buy a specific model of a car.
Oh yeah, suddenly you see that car everywhere.
The Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, right?
Exactly.
Your reticular activating system in your brain filters reality based on what it thinks is important to you. Now apply that to your life goals.
Okay.
If your deep unconscious goal is avoid danger or maintain safety, your brain will constantly scan the world for threats. It will highlight every single reason not to start that business.
It'll show you news articles about the economy crashing.
It will hide opportunities from you because opportunities look dangerous. You will literally not see the exit door because your brain is programmed to look for the lock.
That is terrifying. It means we could be walking around completely blind to opportunities just because our internal goal setting is stuck on survival mode. We're filtering out the escape routes.
Which is exactly why we need to talk about where those internal settings even come from. We don't just wake up one day and decide to be afraid of growth.
This leads us to the anatomy of identity and conditioning.
Section 3. Coe quotes Maxwell Maltz here, the author of Psycho-Cybernetics, and he says something fascinating about hypnosis.
I thought this was so powerful. He says, an accepted idea has the same power as a hypnotist's command.
It is such a powerful image, isn't it? We think of hypnosis as some guy on a stage in Vegas, swinging a pocket watch, making you cluck like a chicken. But conditioning is the exact same mechanism. If you accept the idea, I am bad at math, or I am socially awkward, that idea controls your behavior just as powerfully as a hypnotic command.
And Coe outlines this cycle, this loop. It starts with a goal,
which shapes your perception. That perception dictates what you learn, which leads to action. Then you get feedback from that action,
which leads to conditioning.
And finally, that hardens, it calcifies into your identity.
And once it's your identity, it loops right back around and sets your goals all over again. It's a closed loop.
I am awkward, so my goal is to avoid parties. So I perceive parties as hostile, so I learn nothing new. So I act awkwardly, which gives me feedback that confirms I am awkward.
You've got it. And for most of us, that initial loop was started by our parents.
The survival trap.
Right. When you're a child, your goal is literal biological survival. You depend entirely on your parents for food, for shelter, for love. So what do? You conform.
You have to. You adopt their beliefs. Because if you don't, you might be punished or rejected, which feels like a threat to your very existence. But the danger, as Coe points out, is that many of our parents are passing down conditioning from the industrial age.
They're operating on outdated software.
Totally. Keep your head down, don't take risks, follow the rules, go to school, get a good job, retire.
Which worked in 1970 to get you a pension from the factory, but it just creates mediocrity in 2026.
It's advice for a world that doesn't exist anymore. But it goes deeper than just economic survival. Once our physical needs are met, which for most people listening they are, you aren't starving, we switch.
Switch to what?
We switch to ideological survival. We stop protecting our bodies and we start protecting our concepts, our lines of code.
This explains so much about why political arguments or religious debates get so heated. I've never understood why people get so viciously angry about abstract ideas on the internet.
It's because the brain doesn't really distinguish between a tiger is about to eat me and someone is attacking my worldview. When someone challenges a belief you identify with, your body physically goes into fight or flight.
It feels like a physical attack.
Coe calls it conceptual survival. If your identity is tied to being a Democrat or a Republican or a vegan or a gamer, and someone attacks that group, you defend it as if they are attacking you personally. You're protecting your identity code.
And as long as you're busy defending the code, you can't rewrite it. You're just building walls around it.
Precisely. You are trapped in what he calls the conformist stage of ego development. He references the stages of ego development, from impulsive all the way up to unitive.
And he says most people are kind of hovering around stage 4, the conformist or self-aware stage.
Right, and stage 8, which is later. So can we break that down a bit? What does it look like to actually exit that conformist stage? How do we break out of the hive mind?
Well, the transition starts when you stop blindly accepting the systems that were handed to you and you start building your own. That's the conscientious stage. You build your own principles.
Okay, so you have your own code.
But the real level up, the strategist or construct-aware stage, is when you realize that all systems are just tools. You stop being the system and you start using the system.
You realize your identity isn't fixed. It's a construct that you can alter.
You realize you're the programmer, not just the code.
That is the perfect way to put it. And to be a good programmer of your own life, you need a very specific kind of intelligence. And it's not academic intelligence, it's something else entirely.
This is section 4, and I absolutely love this definition. He quotes Naval Ravikant, who says, "Intelligence is the ability to get what you want out of life."
It's just so pragmatic, isn't it? It strips away all the nonsense about IQ scores and academic degrees. If you're a genius in physics, but you're miserable, you're broke, and you're spanking a life you hate, by this definition, you are not acting intelligently.
You are failing at the game of life.
Harsh, but fair. If you can't solve the problem of your own misery, how smart are you really? And Coe gives a formula here. Agency plus opportunity plus intelligence.
And he makes a very modern, very crucial point about opportunity.
He does. In the digital age, he just completely dismisses lack of opportunity as an excuse.
It's off the table.
If you cannot see opportunity online, that is a perception issue. It's a lens issue, not a reality issue. The internet has democratized access to almost everything. You can learn anything, you can reach anyone, you can sell anything. If you don't see that, it's because your lens is dirty.
So if we have the agency, which is the ability to act, and we have the opportunity, the entire internet, the missing piece is intelligence.
And he connects this to cybernetics. Now, cybernetics sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but what does it actually mean in this context?
It's actually much simpler. It comes from a Greek word meaning to steer. It's the art of steering a system.
Like a thermostat or a guided missile.
Exactly. The loop is simple. You act, you sense the result of that action, you compare it to your goal, and then you act again. It's a feedback loop.
Yes. And Coe defines high intelligence as the ability to view this loop from a meta perspective. It's the ability to iterate. If you try something and it fails, high intelligence says, okay, that angle was wrong, let me adjust and fire again.
And low intelligence.
Low intelligence gets stuck. It tries once, it fails, it feels bad, and it quits. Or it refuses to experiment at all because it's so afraid of that feedback. It personalizes the failure.
He uses the example of a writer, which I think is a great illustration.
Right. So a writer publishes a blog post, nobody reads it, crickets. The low intelligence response is, I'm a bad writer, nobody likes me, I quit.
It's an attack on their identity.
But the high intelligence, the cybernetic response is, the headline probably didn't work, or maybe the distribution channel was wrong. I'm going to change one variable and try again tomorrow.
So failure isn't a judgment on your soul. It's just data.
It's just signal. And the takeaway here is so empowering. You can achieve almost any goal on a long enough timeline if you treat reality as a system to be steered, not some fixed state that you're stuck in. You just keep steering until you hit the target.
Okay, so let's recap. We've torn down the rotting foundation. We understand our so-called laziness is actually a goal of seeking safety. We see how our identity is just old code we're defending. Now, we need to fix it.
Now we get to the protocol.
This is the how-to, and Coe is very, very specific about this. This is a one-day operation.
You need a full day. You can't fit this in between meetings or do it on your lunch break. And it requires 3 things to even begin: dissonance, uncertainty, and discovery.
Dissonance seems to be the fuel here. You have to be completely fed up.
You have to hate where you are more than you fear the unknown. Positive thinking is not enough fuel to escape a gravity well. You need pain. You need what he calls the anti-vision.
I love this concept. Instead of a vision board with pretty beaches and sports cars, you start with the absolute worst-case scenario. You start with the pain.
He asks some just devastating questions for what he calls the morning excavation. Like, what is the dull and persistent dissatisfaction you've learned to live with?
Oof.
Not the big tragedy, but the low-level hum of mediocrity that you tolerate every single day.
And then What truth about your current life would be unbearable to admit?
That's the one that gets people. Because maybe the truth is, I'm not as smart as I pretend to be. Or I'm a coward in my relationship and I settle for less than I deserve.
Or just, I have completely wasted the last 5 years scrolling on my phone.
You have to face that.
Yeah.
You have to let it hurt. You have to write it down.
Then he has you do the average Tuesday exercise. This one gave me chills when I read it.
It is a brutal projection exercise. If nothing changes, if you don't do this protocol, you just keep going as you are describe an average Tuesday in 5 years.
Who is around you? How does your body feel when you wake up? Are you stiff, overweight, chronically tired?
What does your bank account look like? What is the actual cost of living this safe version of your life?
He even asks, who gave up on you? That is just brutal.
It's supposed to be. You need to see the trajectory. If you stay on autopilot, you are going to crash. And only once you have firmly established that horror, that anti-vision, can you pivot.
You pivot to the minimum viable vision.
The flip side. What does the ideal Tuesday look like in 3 years? Not 10, just 3. Make it achievable.
And importantly, he says, you have to write the new identity statement. I am the type of person who...
This is planting the seed of the new foundation. But remember, just writing it down is only the very first step.
Right. So that's the morning. You've dug up all the rot. Now, phase 2 happens throughout the rest of the day. This is interrupting autopilot.
Because you can't just change by thinking about it once in the morning. Your old conditioning, your old identity, lives in your unconscious habits.
So you have to interrupt them.
You have to. Co suggests setting alarms on your phone throughout the day to snap you out of the trance. You need to catch the old identity in the act.
I love the specific times and questions he gives. Like at 11 a.m. an alarm goes off and the question is, what am I avoiding right now?
That question just cuts through all the busy work, doesn't it? Are you answering easy emails to avoid starting the hard project? Are you cleaning the kitchen to avoid writing the business plan?
Or 1:30 p.m. If someone filmed the last 2 hours of my life, what would they conclude I want for my life?
Oh, that is the best one. It's the documentary test.
Yeah. If a camera crew followed me around on a lazy Sunday, they would not conclude he wants to build an empire.
They'd conclude he wants to nap and eat nachos.
Exactly. And that evidence is just undeniable. It forces you to see the gap between who you say you are and who you're actually acting like.
It creates that dissonance we talked about. It makes the old behavior uncomfortable. You can't really enjoy the nachos if you know the camera crew is silently judging you.
And there's another one at 7:30 p.m. What did I do today out of identity protection rather than genuine desire?
That is the advanced question. That's for level 2.
For sure. Did you agree with your boss just to be safe and avoid conflict? Did you skip going to the gym because you didn't want to look weak or foolish in front of the regulars?
It exposes the ego. It shows you exactly where you are playing small just to fit in.
Okay, so you spent the day being hyper-aware, maybe a little paranoid, but you are definitely awake. Now we go to the evening. Phase 3. Synthesis and gamification.
This is where we put it all back together into a workable system. First, you name the enemy. You have to identify the single internal belief that has been running the whole show.
Like, I am afraid of being seen, or I crave comfort above all else.
You name it. You give the dragon a name, and then you switch your thinking from goals to lenses.
This is a subtle but really important shift.
It is. A goal feels like a finish line, something far away that you have to struggle towards.
Yeah.
A lens is a way of seeing the world right now.
So a 1-year lens would be, what must be true in 1 year to know that this old pattern is broken for good?
Exactly. It becomes a filter for your current decisions. It changes how you view the menu at dinner or the alarm clock in the morning. Is this moving me closer to that 1-year truth or further away?
But the part I think is the most actionable, the most brilliant part of this is the video game framework.
Yes. Coe argues that video games are the ultimate flow state machines, so we should structure our lives like one.
It creates order in consciousness. Think about why games are so addicting. You know the objective, the obstacles are clear, the feedback is instant, and you know the rules.
Real life is messy and ambiguous, games are clear. So he gives us a framework to gamify our own reconstruction.
Let's run through the levels of this game design, because if we start treating life like a game, we might actually start winning it for a change.
Okay, first, you need the anti-vision. In a game, this is the game over screen. This is what happens if you lose.
The stakes need to be high.
You need to know what you're running from. Poverty, loneliness, deep regret.
Next up is the vision.
That's how you win. That's the victory condition, that you beat the game screen flashing in your mind.
Then you have the 1-year goal.
That's the main mission. the overarching quest line you are on for this chapter of your life. It gives you direction. It's save the princess or defeat the Dark Lord.
And you break that down into a 1-month project.
This is the boss fight. You can't defeat the Dark Lord in one go. You have to beat his general first. To do that, you need to gain skills, XP, and loot, which are resources.
So maybe the bosses launch the website or lose the first 10 pounds.
It's a concentrated burst of effort. You can't focus on the whole year at once. You just focus on the boss that's right in front of you.
And to beat the boss, you need daily levers.
These are your daily quests. The grinding, but purposeful grinding, that actually moves the needle. Write 1,000 words. Lift weights. Cold call 5 prospects.
These are the actions that yield XP.
You don't level up by dreaming about it. You level up by completing quests, day in, day out.
And finally, and this is crucial, constraints.
The rules of the game. What are you not allowed to do? No phone before 10 a.m., no sugar, no Netflix until the daily levers are pulled. Constraints breed creativity and focus. They keep you on the map so you don't wander off into the woods.
He calls this whole structure a force field.
And it really acts as one. It's a defense against distraction. If you are playing a high-stakes video game, you don't have time to stop and look at shiny objects on the side of the road.
You're on a mission.
The structure protects you from falling back into the autopilot of the old identity. It keeps you in the game.
So let's zoom out for a second. We've gone from realizing our resolutions are stupid because they're just surface level, to understanding that our laziness is actually a survival mechanism.
To digging up our subconscious rot with the anti-vision, and finally to building a brand new game engine for our lives.
It is a complete system overhaul from the ground up.
Yet it brings us right back to that first brutal point.
Yeah.
You are not where you want to be because you are not yet the person who would be there. This protocol is the machine for becoming that person.
But, and this is the big but, it requires that one full day. You actually have to do the work. You can't just listen to this deep dive and nod your head.
That is the trap of what you could call passive learning. Listening to us talk about this feels like progress. It releases a little dopamine. You feel smarter, you feel inspired.
But it isn't progress.
It's just entertainment. Unless you actually set aside the day, take out a pen and paper, and face those uncomfortable questions. You cannot think your way into a new life. You have to act your way into it.
And Coe mentions this idea of dissonance again at the very end. I think I want to leave the listeners with this thought.
It's a powerful one. He says, if this deep dive made you feel uncomfortable or attacked or defensive good, that is dissonance. That means a part of your old identity, your old code, is feeling threatened. That is the crack in the armor where the light gets in.
But if you felt nothing, if you just listened and thought, oh, that's nice, and then moved on with your day,
then, as Coe would say, you are still asleep. You are still protecting the code. You are still content on that rotting foundation.
That is the brutal truth. We hope you choose the dissonance. We hope you take the day.
The game is waiting for you.
Okay, let's get back to the game. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.